Deeper Cinema presents the 10 best screenplays from 1895 to 1919. In 10th place, Stella Maris. From the novel by William J. Locke and adapted by Frances Marion, it is a story of two girls, both played by Mary Pickford, one a rich and sheltered girl who is paraplegic and the other a poor one, who only knew misery and aggressions her whole life. They both fall in love with the same man, who is himself victim of a bitter woman played by Marcia Menon. This is an engaging film, and the partnership and friendship of Mary Pickford and Frances Marion would surely help one to become a top screenwriter in her days, and the other to establish herself as a major star worldwide.
In 9th place, Where Are My Children? From a story written by Lucy Payton and Franklin Hall, and adapted for the screen by Lois Weber and Philip Smalley, this is a 1916 film that has courage to deal with abortion, a theme that up to this very day divide most people. It is old-fashioned here and there, sure, and part of the audience will not agree with the tone of the movie, but still it is a touching story adequately filmed by real-life couple Lois Weber and Philip Smalley. Its ending is also remarkable, with another real-life couple in Tyrone Power and his wife, and with some seconds of his baby and future star of a son, Tyrone Power.
In 8th place, Eyes of Youth. From a play by Max Martin, and scenario and adaptation by Albert Parker, also the director of this film, and Charles E. Whitaker, this is a proof that what-if stories were already popular even so far back as 1919. Clara Kimball Young, then a great star, plays the role of a woman at a crossroads in her life. In the film, she is able to see what would happen if she married a wealthy man to get out of a difficult financial situation, or if she simply married for love, or even chose a path of becoming an opera singer. It is an intriguing story and even have the bonus of presenting in a supporting role Rudolph Valentino, on the threshold of becoming a major star himself.
In 7th place, The Outlaw and His Wife. From a play by Johan Sigurjonsson, adapted by Sam Ask and Victor Sjöström himself, also director and star of the picture. This is a gripping story of an outlaw who runs away and thinks he has found some peace at last, working for a rich widow, but soon both of them have to flee to try to disappear in the mountains of Iceland, even though the film was gloriously shot in Sweden. It is a tragic story of passion, jealousy, and helplessness that captivated the whole world and helped promote the career of Victor Sjöström. The story is also enhanced by being acted by a sort of an outlaw couple in real life, since Edith Erastov was still married to another man while she and Sjöström were having an affair that 4 years later would result in their lifelong marriage.
In 6th place, Victory. From a novel by Joseph Conrad, adapted by Jules Furthman. Then known as Stephen Fox, Jules Furthman had a long and illustrious career in cinema, writing classics such as Mutiny on the Bounty, Only Angels Have Wings, The Big Sleep, Nightmare Alley, and Rio Bravo, which was his last picture, besides having also worked closely with Joseph von Sternberg in that director's best phase of his career. Victory is a story of a loner played by Jack Holt, who wants to live a most quiet life in an island in the South Seas, until love for Sina Owen and big trouble brought by three major crooks force him to change his lifestyle, to say the least. It is a gripping film by Maurice Tourneur, and the three bad guys each bring some different menace to the picture that makes this a solid and thrilling movie.
In 5th place, The Girl from the Marsh Croft. From a novel by Selma Lagerlöf, and adapted by Esther Yulin and Victor Sjöström, who this time directs the film as well, but don't work as an actor in it. This was the first adaptation of a Selma Lagerlöf book by Victor Sjöström, and that sort of partnership would guarantee to Sjöström some of the best films of his career. In this film, Greta Omroth plays Helga, a young woman who is much more honorable than most of her moralistic attackers and suffers throughout the movie because of it, even defending a man who fathered her child and left her, just to keep him from committing perjury and possibly going to jail. It is a solid film, with great actors in it, and set the stage for Sweden's cinema to blossom. Lars Hansen was on his way of becoming a star, and in the near future would marry Karen Molander, who portrays exactly the woman he is tied to and may stop him from marrying Helga.
In 4th place, Male and Female. From the novel The Admirable Crichton, by James M. Barrie, and scenario by Jeanie Macpherson, a perennial collaborator and lover of Cecil B. DeMille. This is a very interesting story about the class relations between aristocrats and their servants, followed by an unexpected reversal of power and the ensuing tensions that this new status quo brings to everyone. Jeanie Macpherson was able to maintain the interesting aspects of the Barrie original story, and the picture is one of DeMille's best from this early phase of his career. Jeanie Macpherson would write for DeMille, credited until The Buccaneer in 1938, and uncredited up to Unconquered in 1947.
In third place, Sons of Ingmar. Another adaptation from a Selma Lagerlöf novel, this time the first part of Jerusalem, adapted by Victor Sjöström. The film starts rather differently, with Ingmar, played by the director himself, asking help from his ancestors in heaven, which doesn't stop him from screwing up in his life. The film deals with controversial issues with some delicacy, avoiding any sense of condemning any one of them due to their sins and mistakes, no matter how hurtful they might become. With a strong and mature acting performance by Harriet Boss, the film has some beautiful scenes, as when the couple finally gets to talk to each other and understand their points of view of everything that has happened. Unfortunately, the sequel wouldn't have Harriet Boss and would fail with the audience and critics alike, which is a shame considering the quality of Sons of Ingmar.
In second place, Sir Arne's Treasure. From another novel by Selma Lagerlöf, called The Treasure, this time adapted by Moritz Stiller and Gustav Molander, who would later become a director himself, and curiously in 1954 would direct another version of this novel. As for Selma Lagerlöf, her novels were undeniably the base of the best Swedish films of that time, and in this occasion both Stiller and Molander did a beautiful job of adapting it to the screen. It is a gripping tale of three bandits that run away from a prison and come to destroy a whole family, leaving behind only one survivor, Elsalil, who would be torn between a desire for revenge and her love for one of the bandits, once she finds out, in ghostly terms, that he was involved in all that massacre. A very good script helped make this film one of the first true classics of cinema.
Best Screenplay from 1895 to 1919. The Oyster Princess. Curiously, the only original screenplay of this list, since all others were adapted from books or plays. Hans Kraly worked with Ernst Lubitsch to create this funny and witty script. Kraly was a constant collaborator with Lubitsch in the early stages of his career, a sort of invisible hand behind what would become the Lubitsch touch. Speaking of Lubitsch, this film right here is not only an early proof that this Lubitsch touch was already being developed, but it also shows the early foundations of the hilarious screwball comedies of the 30s. The Oyster Princess is a charming and energetic film, a little zany and flirty, and totally charming story of a rich man and his very spoiled daughter and his quest to make her marry a prince, even if is a poor one, or even worse, another man impersonating this very prince. This film was an evidence that comedy in cinema was not only confined to slapstick, but that it could also be a little bit more sophisticated and still make everyone laugh all the same, even in this silent era.
If you agree or disagree with the selection and ranking, post your opinion on the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.